Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
So, friends, in the course on production and operations management, we are starting with a new unit, that is project management. Project management is very important aspect for production and operations manager, because the whole once you have selected the product to be manufactured and processes to be deployed, then you have to install the project, you have to purchase the technology, you have to purchase the equipments, and then you have to install all these things, or also the construction of the building. All these activities are form of a project. The unique part of the project is it is not a regular production, it is a small endeavor for which all the facilities and resources has been collected together, and once that endeavor is achieved, the team is dismantled and the project team is absorbed in other activities or areas. So, in that sense, if we look at that, all our assets are created through the project management, are created as a project, and then project management becomes very important issue. Also, the projects are for software development also, projects are for R&D also, projects can be for other activities which are having a special purpose activity. So, for that also they can also be managed as a project. Even the organizing wedding parties, birthday parties, or some events, cultural events or some festivals, that can also be taken as a project, because these are temporary endeavors, they are not a permanent endeavor. Similarly, if you are establishing a new academic institution, that is also a project. Once the institute is established, it can be absorbed with the existing system. So, that is also a project in that sense. So, let us see the characteristics of projects. A project endeavor, a temporary endeavor undertaken to create a unique product or service. This is the definition given by Project Management Institute. So, very important definition, it is a temporary endeavor, as I said, construction of a building, arrangement of some function or event like in India Republic Day function, that is also a project in that way. So, or it is installation of the machines, equipments, that is also a project. And so, generally these create the productive assets in the manufacturing or service organization. Project is a known routine, non repetitive, one off undertaking. So, it is not a routine type. Construction of a flyover in itself is a unique item. So, it is a known routine item and non repetitive. You may be constructing 10 different flyovers, but all 10 will have some difference from each other. It is not a repetitive activity. Some specifications, some aspects of one project, one construction of a flyover will be different from the other flyover. This is one of a type undertaking, normally with discrete times, financial and technical performance goal. So, each project has some time duration which is given to us, and then some funds are made available to it, and then there are certain technical specifications need to be achieved, like construction of a flyover. It may be 2 lane, 4 lane, 600 meters, 1 kilometer, and then it may have certain utility sets that are need to be removed, reset, or you have to provide certain other aspects on that, maybe cameras or other aspects which are required for the purpose of road safety and other things. So, they are all technical performance of the project. So, each project is having a certain discrete time, certain time is specified to us, certain finances are made available to us, and certain technical performance need to be. So, these are the 3 dimensions also in performance measurement. We have to see the performance of a project on time, cost, and technical aspects or the performance aspects of that. Projects create productive assets. As I said, all your manufacturing assets are created as a project. Thus, projects as a prime mover of economic development of any economy. So, By having the projects, we can increase the productivity, we can increase more production output, it leads to more employment also, it improves in the GDP of the country. At a national level, projects are very, very important. It can be a construction projects, it can be highway projects, it can be infrastructure projects. So, all these projects are very, very important in the growth of the economy. Project creates an environment of participatory endeavors, because a project has a limited time available to you. So, unless all the stakeholders participate in it, you will not be able to achieve the goals. Due to the need of focused attention on goals by the project team for the successful completion of the project. So, it is very important that all team members should work together, though at the end last we will talk about the conflicts in the projects also. There are areas where conflicts do occur, but we should have the mechanism in place to resolve those conflicts also. But by and large, the project teams work in a very, very cooperative environment, participative environment, where different players participates and so for the timely completion of the project or to achieve the goals of the project. If we look at in our introduction of production and operations management, there we discussed 5 types of production system: continuous production system, mass production system, batch production system, job shop production system and fixed location production system. So, our project management falls under this 5th category, and if you recollect in first 4 types of production system, it is facilities are stationary, and job moves from one workstation to another. Whereas, in case of projects, this is called fixed location production system. The job is stationary, like construction of a flyover. It is all is built up at one place. Job is stationary and facilities are portable. They come, add value and then go away, are portable. So, that is the major difference between other production systems and project management. So, in project management, it is built up, the project is built up at one single place and other processes come and add value to the job, whether it is a construction of a building or a flyover or roads or infrastructure, any other infrastructure project. So, facilities move, whereas job remains stationary at one place. Further, let us see what are the issues, what are the various aspects of project management. Project management is an organized venture for managing projects. So, management means, as we are discussing earlier also, planning, control and improvement. So, project management is planning the project, various activities and scheduling, sequencing, etcetera, and then control on that with the help of Gantt charts and other things, and then see that there may be a case that some existing projects are getting, some existing infrastructure is getting improved as a project. So, project management is an organized venture, though it is a temporary venture, but it is an organized venture for managing the projects. It involves applications of tools and techniques for selecting the project. First and foremost is the selecting the project. You have to select the appropriate project, appropriate technology, appropriate vendor to execute the project, and then scheduling and sequencing, that we will focus in our this particular unit, and then scheduling and sequencing of the activities of the project. It also involves planning, financing, how the budgets and funds will come, very important for projects. You have to plan the funds which are required, and you also have to ensure that regular cash flow is available as per the progress of the project. Implementation of the project, monitoring of the project, controlling of the project and coordinating the unique activities. Like in a construction of a house itself, you will see that there are first work start with the machinery works, then once that work is done, then the plumber will come, electrician will come, then you are having paint guys, carpenter, and then you are having interior decorators and so on. So many people are unique activities are involved even in a construction of a house. Construction of a house is also a project, and within the masonry works also there is a brickwork and then plastering and so many other things, roofing, etc. There are so many activities are involved in that also, and these activities are to be coordinated together, and several activities have the precedence relationship also. You cannot do the plastering unless the brickwork is there. Similarly, you cannot do the electric fitting unless other activities are carried out. So, they are having some kind of a precedence relationship also between them, technical aspects also within that, and at the same time there is several activities can be done simultaneously also together also, which are. So, that is the kind of thing we have to see that we have to coordinate these activities, and second we have to keep in mind there may be certain activities which are very critical. If that activity get delayed, the whole project may get delayed. So, as a management I have to more focus at the time of controlling the project, I have to be more focused on the critical activities. If the critical activity get delayed, the whole project may get delayed, whereas there are certain activities which are not critical, they are having the slack float available with that. Within that time frame, if even if the activity is delayed, the total project duration will remain unaffected, there will not be any delay if the non critical activity is delayed to some extent. Earlier project management was more associated with construction projects, but now as I said the project management has wide applications in every software company. They are having project teams and project management project managers. So, very important in software engineering, the project managers, project management has become very important. Similarly, research and development projects, innovating new projects, products, launch of a product. Launch of the product in itself is a big project, where organizing large scale events, as I said various festivals, events, and even the for domestic purpose, the weddings, etc. they are also projects. Software development projects are all handled as project management. So, they are all considered as projects, and project management is very essential in efficient management of these activities. About 50% of the manager time is now spent on project management related issues, because he has to improve. One of the important aspect in manager is to improve. For improvement purpose, he has to conceive the new projects, he has to conceive the new innovation, new changes in the existing setups, or new setups to enhance the capacity, or enhance the technology level, quality level, or other aspects. So, in that sense we have to see that managers play very important role. Even the normal production people, production managers play very important role in project management. What are the characteristics of a project? It is a unique single unit, as we are saying it is a single unit, one of a type. Explosive rate of technology change, changes of user requirement. So, we have to see that there is a technological in construction industry itself. Now, we are witnessing lot of changes, technological changes are happening. Prefab is coming in a big way, and you can construct a building very fast. In certain cases multi-story buildings are constructed in 7 days, 3 days also. In India also there are examples where foot over bridge is created within 24 hours and so on. So, that is all both ways, materials technology as well as the process technology are changing very fast, and it is becoming very efficient, and you can use it and reduce the project duration. Changes in the user requirement is also becoming very important. We have to keep in mind, even for the buildings itself, there is now other features because of this information technology, electronics gadgets and smart devices in our buildings. So, it has changed the total requirements of buildings also. The smart devices, IoT devices in our buildings, etc., plays a very important role. In highways also there are now cameras and other internet connected devices are placed for the monitoring of the flyover and monitoring of the traffic also, management of the traffic also, and so on. Then as I said that it is a one of a type. So, you cannot have a special purpose equipment, its equipments are general purpose equipment. So, which can be suitable for any kind of a project activity, for any kind of a activity, whether it is a small activity, big activity, or at a very high place, or like that in any environment also. So, the equipments are general purpose, and more than one function can be performed by the general purpose equipment. They are not meant for just one single function, they are multi-purpose and general purpose, depending upon the skill of the person worker, they can perform several operations also. Then high labor skills are required because of the technological advances. It is not a traditional kind of a construction projects, or this thing, very high tech technology equipments are involved, computer controlled equipments are controlled in the products also, as well as in the process technologies also. There are specific deliverables. Project is not an unending kind of a thing, it has a certain deadlines. So, accountability and controls are very important, and you should be able to deliver the project, hand over the projects as per the due dates and within the cost which is given to us. Specific due dates are there. So, time to market, because if you are launching a product and you are given the time also for launch, the product design should be ready and production should be ready before that. So, time is very important, whether it is a civic projects like classrooms, or school building, or educational building, or some kind of a flyover, etc. It is very important. The moment it is complete, only after that people will be able to use it. So, there may be a opportunity cost associated it. Similarly, the products which are commercial products, commercial projects, commercial purpose, there also the profits or the selling of the item will start only after the completion of the project. So, you will start getting the benefits if you are able to complete the project before due date. And even for non-profit organizations also, not for profit projects also, you have to keep it there for more for social service and social aspects. So, there also it is very essential, just like we are having in the COVID time, the vaccine administration of vaccine, that was also a project in one sense. And so, there also, so we have to keep in mind that projects are implemented, the various centers were created as projects within 24 hours, or certain hospitals were created or updated for the COVID requirements as a projects within 24 hours or 48 hours. So, that is a kind of even for not for profit or social projects also. The projects are multidisciplinary in nature. The specialization of several areas are required, like I said, in the construction of the building itself, you need architect, you need masonry work, electrician, plumber, and interior decorators, and so many are involved. Similarly, looking from the commercial point of view also, in projects, persons from operations are required, persons from finance is required, person from R&D are required. So, various type of specialized knowledge depending upon the project. In a software project, you need system analyst, you need coding, you need quality control, quality assurance people, and like that. So, each project consists of persons from several specializations, because the project is has a variety of tasks to be completed. Another important aspect in project management is projects are usually very complex. Many related activities are interrelated in nature, and unless certain activity is completed, you cannot perform the another activity. So, even the resources are dependent on each other, the various vendors and suppliers are associated with each other. If one activity delayed, the whole schedule may get delayed, and so that means it is very complex aspect. It is not a simple routine kind of a activity. Difficult production planning and inventory controls are required. Inventory control is very important in projects, because as I said, if it is going normal, you can plan all the materials which are required, but even if one activity got delayed, so whole of the your inventory planning may go haywire. So, that way you have to look at that the project should run at every stage in a time frame manner. Then as I said, though it is there is a lot of participation and lot of cohesiveness in the teams, but still at times conflict do occur. So, a a good project manager has also the attributes of good conflict management tactics also, negotiation tactics also. So, and after that it may be a part of the bigger program also. Your project which you are handling may be part of some bigger project also, some bigger program also. So, these are some of the characteristics of projects. What are the skills required? Though now you are getting an idea that to handle a good project, complex project, what are the traits required? You need creativity and flexibility. Every day new issues will crop in. You cannot anticipate, this is because this is one of a type. This is not a repetitive production and you do not have the experience of that particular site also. So, you need to be creative to understand the problems which are coming and to solve the problem. So, creative problem solving is very essential trait for a project manager. It is a very good soft skill which is required. So, you need to be creative not only for hard works like technical aspects or other, even while dealing with the vendors, dealing with other stakeholders. Sometimes the member of the society may have certain issues while completing the project. So, how to solve, how to the soft skills play very important role in completion of the project. As a good manager is who is having a good creativity skills to understand the various situations and to solve the problems in a creative manner. Then he need to be highly flexible also. The requirements will keep on changing. The requirement will not be same as it was in the previous project. So, as the project changes, the requirement also changes, and at the same project also during the life cycle, the lifetime of the implementation, the many of the things do keep on changing from the plan. So, you need to be flexible in adopting those changes, and then based on that rescheduling the project, reworking out the resource requirement, time frames, etc. And maybe if there is additional budgets are required or additional cost is involved, you have to be very convincing with the top management and you have to take the proposals to the top management also. So, all types of activities are there in implementation of the project. Ability to adjust to the change. So, you should not say that because of this change now project is not able to complete or something like that. So, we should be adaptable to change. Changes can be because of the technology, changes can be because of the social reason, it can be due to conflicts, it can be due to natural phenomena also, just like COVID, just like in Delhi we are having because of environment pollution, etc. Many a time construction activities were stopped. So, all these changes do keep on happening in the environment. So, we have to be ready to understand those change and we should be adjustable to those changes. As you recollect, we have discussed earlier, the project is also having these characteristics, volatile. Many volatile activities can take place during the implementation. Certain activities may be uncertain also. Overall project is highly complex because of large number of activities and they interact, they have associated with each other, and many of the systems are, many of the activities, resources are ambiguous also to begin with. As the project proceeds, you keep on getting the clarity. So, you should keep in mind all these factors also as a good soft skills that you should be creative to handle this, you should be flexible to address this, and you should have the ability to change. Then there is important point, that is a good planner. The project manager should be a very good planner. He should plan the various activities, whether it is men, whether it is equipment, materials, site management, etc. He should be a very good planner. He should able to anticipate the future difficulties and able to take the countermeasures in advance. Conflict resolution, he should be a good listener. He should first listen to all the stakeholders and then take the appropriate decisions. He should, which are win-win solution. He should not take win-lose solution. He should take the decisions which are win-win. At the end, in the negotiations also, as I had written here. So, conflict resolution by good negotiations, by good human skills. Sometimes it is a ego, sometimes some person's ego is hurt, sometimes he is not given a due regard or due importance in the system, that also creates several times of conflicts, and then you have to be a good leader to handle those situations. So, at the end we have to keep in mind that the answer should come in a win-win form, not in a win-lose form, because even if it come in a win-lose form, this will be a temporary solution. This will not be a sustainable solution. If it is a win-lose solution, it is going to be a temporary solution. So, friends, there is a threefold requirement of a project. Three goals are there of a project. One is obviously we should be able to complete the project within the budgets, within the given resources, funds which are given to us. So, project should be completed within that. Second important is the time schedule. We should be able to complete the project in the given time schedule. If the project is not completed in the time schedule, the overhead cost rather time and cost are interrelated. If the schedules are delayed, there are high chances that cost will also increase, because of the overhead cost associated with the projects. So, if there is a delays in the, if there is a slipping of the time schedules, the cost is bound to increase. So, we should keep very high priority to the see that project is carried out adhering the planned in the planned way, and should be completed as per the commitments. Then the performance, the technical performance and other performance aspects, it should be a good quality project, and activities are done in a good, safety should be kept in mind, quality should be kept in mind, safety should be kept in mind, the environment pollution should be kept in mind, and obviously it should be as per the technical specifications provided for the project, technical specification which are there. So, there may be many more parameters of performance in a given project depending upon the nature of the project, but obviously, if you are able to meet time and cost, but project is not up to the mark, not of good quality. We have seen several road projects, flyover projects and infrastructure projects, they were able to meet time and cost deadlines, but after 3 months, after 6 months, we found cracks in that, or roads get washed away, or flyovers get washed away, and so many such things happen. So, that is a poor performance of the implementation, though you are able to meet time and cost, but quality performance is not good, or in the construction of the project there may be some accidents, or some may be some safety hazards. So, that is also not a good performance, or you have not taking the necessary environmental precaution guidelines, and that can also be one of the important aspects in success or goal of the project. Generally, you will find that the start of the project is very slow, because of so many activity. You have to mobilize several resources. There may be in certain infrastructure projects, even land acquisition is a very important issue, and many projects are start at a very slow note, or may get delayed because of the land acquisition itself, or there may be in certain cases the funds are not available, or necessary technical skills, architect etcetera are not available. Due to that, there is a slow start, or there may be a delay in the start of the project itself. And then you will find, once it has taken shape, once all the resources have been mobilized, it will take a very fast momentum. And then at the finishing stage also, because again small activities are required, quality and aesthetics become very important in the fag end of the projects, and there may be several conflicts, or there may be some new requirements also which need to be now project has taken a shape, and now from the drawing sheet it has taken a physical shape. Now, there may be certain new aspects which are coming. So, again the progress get little bit slow at the fag end of the project. So, that is we have to keep in mind while planning the projects, that there may be certain conflicts, there may be certain delays at the final stage also, at the finishing stage also, or there may be used to be certain issues in the start of the project also. So, let us see the stages of a project management. We can keep in mind certain projects, so that we can understand it. One we can keep in our mind while visualizing these aspects that you are establishing a sewage treatment plant. These days it has become very, very important because of the pollution in the rivers and other reasons. We want that there should be zero discharge, not only zero discharge, rather there should be the water should be utilized back in the same organization. So, zero requirement, zero discharge kind of a campus is now or system which we are talking about. Similarly, for sewage civic sewage lines also we are talking about using the treated water for horticulture purpose or other purposes also. So, that will also help in improving the water table. Water table is declining very fast in many parts of the India. So, the sewage treatment plant and recharging of the gardens and horticulture, that will help in improving the water table. You can also consider from a manufacturing point of view, overhauling of a CNC machine or some other plant, or it can be power plant, it can be some other aspect of where you are doing the annual maintenance, overhauling of machine, or not only overhauling, even the installation of a CNC machine, installation of a project also. So, that can be a one of the project which you can consider, expansion of assembly line, expansion of the capacity of certain this thing. Why I am taking these two projects are because they need to be completed within few hours. Your production is going on, it will adversely affect the production activity. You cannot take a longer time for overhauling of the machine, maybe 1 week, maybe 15 days or maybe 3 days only. So, you have to plan those activities in such a manner, you have to arrange the resources beforehand. So, that whole activity is carried out in a shortest possible time. Many times we do the expansion of the lines when you are having 2 or 3 days of holidays near festival. So, only within 3 days when the shift on the before the holidays is over and till the when you are coming back after the holiday, within that 2 days or 3 days you are getting the plant for the purpose of expansion, and when the plant is starting after the vacation, it should look like as it was left by them before going for vacation. So, those kind of things you can keep those from IT industry and other, you can keep some kind of a software development project in your mind while we are discussing these project management issues. Now, first stage in project management is planning for the project. Very important, if the planning is not done appropriately, you will find that you will not be able to meet the goals of the projects. So, you should clearly define what are the objectives of the project. Like if you are talking about the sewage treatment plant, you must know that how much discharge you are going to get, what quality of water you want to have after treatment, what type of input sewage water quality you are having and how it is going to be treated. Then you have to decide what should be the size of the plant. So, all these things you have to decide, and what are you going to do with the treated water also. Similarly, for the overhauling of the machine, what is the objective, what you want to achieve in that, what performance level is existing, what performance level you want to have after overhauling. Similarly, for expansion of the assembly, what is your present production rate after expansion, what new production rates you want to achieve. So, all these objectives should be very clearly defined at the planning stage, and based on this you describe the project. Describing the project means what should be the size, what should be the time, cost, etc. required, time requirement, cost requirement and performance standards. So, you have to describe the these aspects. Then after doing that, you divide the once you have described the project, break down that projects into smaller activities, work breakdown schedules. So, break the projects whole project into smaller activities and then work out the schedule also. We will study the techniques of scheduling also. Then important aspects, obviously formation of the team, identify what type of specializations you need, what type of resource person you are required, what type of management team is required, how big should be department team, what should be their reporting. Generally in projects we are having the matrix organization, where they are doing their line functions also and they are having the cross functional also. So, matrix organization is used in the project management. Then you should have persons with the negotiation skills also, because you are dealing with the vendors, you are dealing with the other stakeholders, maybe you are selling your project also to top management as well as to the other workers and other stakeholders in the organization. Then you have to determine the time and cost estimates, do the budgeting also every period wise. It can be, if it is a 1 year project, every month how much money is required, or on a daily basis you can determine the flow of capital flow, money flow requirements. Then you have to see the architectural and engineering details. What type of architectural details are required, engineering details are required. Maybe at this stage the appointment of architect will come into the picture. You should have, you can have appoint the architect by having a competition or something like that, and then based on that you can develop the engineering details, various structural designs, various other things when we are talking about the construction project. Cash flow requirements also very important aspect in the planning stage. If you find that cash flow, adequate cash flow is not available, then you have to look for the alternates, places, alternate sources for the cash flow also, and checking the material availability. Many times projects suffer because you start the project without looking at the availability of the material also. So, keeping these and also maybe at the planning stage you can look at the weather also, whether you are having a whether you are facing a rainy season or some other season, if you are working in a open areas. So, you have to keep that factor also in mind, or if there is some guidelines, government restrictions are there on working because of pollution or something. So, those aspects should also be kept in mind at the time of planning, because your time and cost of a project is going to be affected by these weather and other climatic conditions, or some government policies, restrictions also, working timing of the project. So, these factors we need to be we should consider at the planning stage itself. Then come the scheduling of the project. Once you said that okay, now project is ready, team is ready, money and is available, material is going to be available as and when required. Now, we have to see large number of activities are there, in which order they need to be executed. What is going to be the start time and the finish time of each of these activities, and then we have to assign the people and resources also. Maybe at certain days of the project more number of persons are required, at other places less number of workers are required, or at certain times certain specific skills are required, at other times maybe unskilled persons are required. So, you should keep in mind not only in terms of number, but also what type of skills are required, that should also be kept in mind at this stage. When you are scheduling the project, see that determine the number of persons and skills required at different periods, at different places in the project. And then other resources, there may be a lift is required, or some kind of elevators or earth mover is required, or such kind of a resource is required. So, you keep it that also here in the scheduling. Once you have done the activity scheduling, we will do this activity in our case also, resource leveling also, project crashing also, we will study that. Then you have to very important techniques, usually when we say project management, person will say oh, CPM and PERT. So, they are the very integral part, very unique techniques which is used in project management, though many of the other techniques are which we are talking about planning of the project. Planning of the project aspects are common at many other places also, but this CPM and PERT is very unique to project management. CPM stands for critical path method, CPM stands for critical path method, whereas PERT stands for program evaluation review technique. So, these two are very important techniques in project management for the purpose of scheduling, and we will have this in our next session. We will talk about CPM, and we will do an exercise of PERT also in this unit. CPM is used where the projects are more occurring frequently, same type of activities like construction projects, where though the design specification, engineering details are different, but most of the activities are same in different construction projects. So, based on that we know the timing, we know that how much time it will take to complete a particular activity. So, the activity timings are deterministic in this, activity timings are deterministic in this case. We know in advance that because based on the past experience how much time it will take to complete a particular activity. Whereas, program evaluation and PER technique, program evaluation review technique is used for those projects where the activity timings are probabilistic in nature. I know that it may take 3 days, it may take 10 days also, but most likely it will be done in 3 days. You may say that project can be done in 3 days, that is your optimistic estimate. At the same time, you say that it may run up to 10 days also if things are not happening, pessimistic also, and you are saying that most probably it will be completed in 7 days, that is your most likely estimate. So, but you are not sure how much time it will take to complete the project. So, the durations are having some kind of a uncertainty. So, probability is attached. So, based on that you we see that what is the probability that project will be completed in certain period. Then there is a third aspect of this, that is a controlling the project, that is controlling the project. Once you have scheduled, now we have to see that like in management also we said the plan, control. So, this is planning and scheduling is one aspect, then the control. Once you start implementing the project, you have to monitor the project that its performance, its cost and time, it is running as per the schedule, as per the budgets. So, we have to monitor and control the cost, time and quality. So, controlling the 3 performance aspects, which are 3 goals of the project, that is timely delivery within the budgets and of quality as per the specification provided to us. And then if there is you find any some kind of slippage is there, or sometimes before time you are able to do, you may revise the plan also, because if you are not revising the plan, then you will find there may be a shortage of material also, or there may be material coming much in advance, or the skilled person which you have hired, but project get delayed. So, you have to now readjust reschedule his requirements at your plant, or you have called certain expert for certain thing. So, you have to now revise his schedules also, and then you have to do here the lot of conflict do arises in the implementation stage, several activities, because now things started becoming visible, and there is a time gap also between planning and actual execution. During that time also there may be many changes happening in the market, in the because of inflation, because of change in currency exchange rates, or there may be some political changes, social changes, or some environmental changes are happening. Because of that, you planned the activities, you scheduled the activities with certain assumptions, with certain parameter which were existing at that time, but now after implementation, after 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, many of those parameters have changed, and maybe they change in the priority of the management also. So, all these things do create the conflicts in the implementation of the project, and then you can create the delayed project activity reports also. You should inform horizontally as well as to your top management also that these are the activities which are getting delayed. You may find out the reasons also, identify the reasons also, mention the reasons also, and also mention the countermeasures which need to be taken, so that the project can be brought back on the right schedule. So, these are the control activities, very very important stage in the implementation of many failures. If you see in the real life, many failure occurs because of the poor control, because of the conflicts in the system. So, we can say that control is because one is managerial control. If you do not have a managerial control, thing may slip out of your hand, or there may be a conflicts also because of the change in the internal or external environment. So, as a control stage, we should keep in mind, we should have a good managerial systems in place. So, that the project is, and in India we are having Delhi Metro as one of the a good project control and project implementation. You can it is a case study in itself, Delhi Metro. So, they are able to implement the projects in Delhi within the time frame, and without much convenience to the users of the road also. That is also very important aspect when we are planning the project, we should plan, we should take care that it should not cause inconvenience to the other persons of the society when you are constructing, building the project. So, they did a very good traffic management also, and if certain buildings are coming in their plan, so they have given them the good compensation also, given them the alternative sites also. So, all these aspects are very important in the planning stage. You should see that, so that at a later stage these conflicts should not arise. If they are you have taken care of these conflicts and these things in the planning stage itself, it is less expensive here, it is less expensive, less costly also, and it will also help in timely completion of the project. Most of the conflict occurs because of the poor planning. So, that can also, we can say that conflict do occur because of the poor planning or because of the change in the circumstances, change in the environment. Then important thing, closing the project, it should not create nuisance in the system. So, closing can be because of the completion of the project, or there may be a in between termination also, because that project may no longer is viable, it is not required, there is change in the circumstances. So, the project is no more required, that requirement is not existing. So, that can be reasons for terminating the project, completing the project, project has achieved, or many times the project is merged with the mainstream organization, and many times the project is revised also with new specification, with new requirements, the new project is conceived, which include the existing project also. So, that is the, and secondly, at the time of closing, the team members which are there, they should be repatriated to their original sections, branches, organizations also. Many times on deputation, people are involved in the project from other organizations also, or from other departments and branches also. So, that is the aspect of closing the project. So, these are certain stages in the project management. Each and every stage is very, very important for the successful completion of the project. Now, at the selection stage itself, like we have said that objective description of the project and selection of the project. Now, let us see, means once you have decided to implement a project, how to do the appraisal of the project. Appraisal we have to do on a several aspects, like if you take the setting of a sewage treatment plant, you need to have the technical appraisal. What is the technology which you are going to take? Several technologies are available, each have its own merits and demerits, applications also. So, you have to select the right type of processes and technology. So, you examine, evaluate the various technologies on a multi criteria decision making basis. This is technical appraisal is multi criteria, it is not a single criteria appraisal. So, and then based on that also you have to see at what should be the size or the scale of the operations. Like sewage treatment, how much sewage needs to be treated, of what particular quality, what parameters you want to have in the treated water, so that it is suitable for the even for the horticulture purpose. It should not have toxicity or that which may harm the even plants, etc. Or if it is using for the domestic purpose, for bathing or other purposes, then also you should have another standards of requirements. Similarly, these days we are having a solar power setup also. So, conceive that also, how much roof space or space you are available with you, what technology you can have, so that you can get maximum power output, what is going to be the cost per unit of producing electricity, and so on. So, that is the aspect where you have to keep in mind, that is the selection of the process or technology and scale of operations. Then second important aspect is the commercial aspects. Whether when you are saying scale, it is let us say you are setting up a plant to manufacture some item, something, maybe some car manufacturing or something you are setting up a, so you should find out, let us say car manufacturing, maybe some global brand want to enter in India and set up a factory in India for car manufacturing. India has a very good demand of cars. So, what is required? So, first they should find out whether they are going to have all end to end operations here, or they are going to do only assembly operations here, or they are going to have engines also manufactured here, or what type of. So, you have to select what should be the scope of the manufacturing activities in India. And then how many cars per year you want to manufacture, what are the different models or different models you want to bring, whether you want to bring few models or you want to bring full range of models. So, that is and then the scale, how many vehicles per year you want to manufacture, and then that is the technical appraisal you have to do. Then come the commercial appraisal, what is the demand and how you are going to supply, what is the competition for those products, and what is going to be the distribution channels, price of the products and the government policy. So, these are the commercial appraisal. You have to see that whether commercially this particular venture, this particular project is going to be a successful project, or you may have faced some conflicts or difficulties in later on. After implementing, you may find difficulties in that. So, that is the second important aspect which we have to keep in mind, commercial appraisal, that commercially it is viable. The third is the economic appraisal. Economic appraisal is also called break even analysis. This is called break even analysis. That means, after implementation of the project, what is going to be the cost of manufacturing, what is going to be the variable cost, what is going to be the fixed cost. Fixed cost is due to the cost of capital and other aspects, and then how much quantity you are going to sell, quantity, demand. So, these so what are going to be your volumes, and then based on that the profits. So, these aspects we are considering, and based on that we decide whether I should go for this project or not. A break even analysis is very simple. This is called like if you are having a certain fixed cost, you are having certain variable cost, this is quantity, on x axis we are having quantity, on y axis we are having costs. Let us erase this. So, this is quantity and cost versus graph, this is your fixed cost, this is your fixed cost, and this is the variable cost, and combined together we can say this is the total cost, this is the total cost. Okay. And then you are selling it, you are creating the revenue, this is the revenue which is coming based on the selling price. So, this point is called the break even point. This is economic analysis, this is called break even point. So, this is the point, this is the total cost. So, this is the point where the total cost is equivalent to, this is the cost line, this is the profit line, this is the cost line. So, the total cost is equivalent to the revenues. So, there is no profit, there is no loss. If your quantity is lesser than this is in terms of quantity and numbers. So, that quantity is break even point, and if they are not able to sell up to the break even point, this is the loss. This is the loss, because your revenue is lesser than the cost. Your profit will start only after that. This is the profit zone. The profit will start only after the this thing is coming. When your quantity is more than the break. So, that is the economic analysis. You have to see that whether you are able to sell more than the break even point. If you are not able to sell more than the break even point, this project is not economically viable. This project is not economically viable. Okay. So, that we have to keep in mind, that is called economic appraisal of the project. Then we are doing the financial appraisal of the project. Financial appraisal of the project, you have made certain investment. You have made certain investment in the project. So, you want to know what is my return on investment, what is my return on investment. If the cost of capital in India is let us say 10%, your return on investment must be higher than the 10%. And then you also interested in what is my payback period, in how much time all my investment will be paid back. So, that is called payback period. So, these are the conventional methods of financial appraisal. These are called conventional methods of performance appraisal. Conventional methods. We are also having time value based, which are modern, which are more useful, time value based appraisal methods. We will discuss, which is very important, is net present value, because what happens, all your investments are at initial stage, whereas the returns on that will come after 1 year, 2 year, 3 years. If 20 years is the life of the projects, the cash inflow is at one point of time in the beginning, where cash outflow is in the beginning, whereas cash inflow coming to the organization will be at different times in the life of the project. So, we want to bring, it is something like this, if I can draw here. So, all your investment cash outflow is here at time 0, whereas money will come after some time at different point of time. What we do in net present value method, by applying the discounting, we bring what is the present value of this, what is the present value of this, what is the present value of this, what is the present value. So, all the cash inflows which are coming at different point of time, we see the present value of them at time 0, and then compare it with the cash outflow. So, cash outflow is compared with the present value of all the cash inflows which are happening at different point of time. We understand that 100 rupees after 2 years is less than 100 rupees today. So, that is called time value of money. That is called time value of money. If you are having 100 rupees today, if you are getting 100 rupees today or 100 rupees after 2 years, obviously, if you are getting after 2 years, that has less value. Okay. So, that is the concept which is called time value of money. Another very important parameter is internal rate of return, IRR. Every project has IRR. So, you have to see that my IRR should be higher than the discount rate or the bank rate of interest. So, this is the financial appraisal, but financial appraisal will come only if your project is viable. If the project is not economically viable, that means you are not able to sell, your profits are not coming. Here we check whether profits will come or not, then here we see whether we get the adequate profits vis-a-vis the investments. So, that is the difference between economic appraisal and financial appraisal. In economic appraisal, we see how much is my fixed cost, whether I am able to recover my fixed cost or not, whether I am able to sell the sufficient quantity or not, and then after that we see that whether the profit which I am earning, how that looks with respect to the investment which I have made, in how much time I will get back my investments, or what is going to be the profitability of the whole venture. So, that is called financial appraisal. Then we are also doing the managerial appraisal also, whether we are having the adequate managerial skills available within the organization to implement this project and to run this project. That is very important. If you do not have the managerial capabilities to implement the project or to run the project, you have to take a call again, or you maybe you have to first strengthen your management from that perspective. And then we also have in most of the non-commercial projects also, where we look at the social cost benefits also, what are the social benefits and what are the social costs associated with the project. Every project has some social costs are also associated with it, maybe like construction of a building, maybe certain trees are compromised or something like that. That is the social cost of the project, but at the same time there are social benefits also. It generates large number of employment also, it improves the prosperity of the society also, it increases the income of the society also. So, we have to keep in mind, that is why government allows several projects where which are in rural areas or underdeveloped areas also, by providing the free land also, tax incentives also, so that social benefits are given to that particular section of the society which is underdeveloped, which is not very backward areas of our society. So, this there may be some social cost attached to that, maybe you are compromising some natural landscapes also, or trees or greenery in that area, or maybe sometimes you are removing the this thing mountains and other things also. So, that way means several hazards are also possible. So, we have to keep the social cost and social benefits also in mind in implementing the projects, or if you can in the planning stage, if you can give some social benefit, you may think of getting certain rebates and benefits also from the government or from the society also. There are certain projects which are very hostile to the society also, that creates a bad smell or pollution or something. There is a lot of resistance also to those projects many a times. So, all these we have to keep in mind as a social cost benefit analysis. Risk in the project implementation, there are several types of risk. In every venture there are risk. Project completion risk is the most important risk in that. There may be a risk of increase in price, there may be a change in the political leadership or some kind of a political unrest, or some kind of a like we have seen projects getting shifted from one state to another because of the political reasons also. There may be interest rate, there is an increase in interest rate or cost of capital, capital become very expensive and the project become non viable. You are done a planning with the interest rate of let us say 6%, but due to inflation and other factors it may get increased to 10%, 12% or something like that. So, that may make the project non viable. Exchange rate also, exchange rates are changing very fast. So, you have if it is a plant is you are importing the plant, or you are manufacturing a product which which are going to be exported. So, where the multi countries are involved in installations of project or in procurement of raw material, like in steel plants you are purchasing the coke and coal and iron ore from other countries. So, this exchange rate plays a very similar in petroleum industry and others, where the raw materials are coming from other countries, or maybe the plant equipment which are required to implement the project is coming from other countries, and due to exchange rate they may become very expensive and the project may become non viable. And even if means in the initial stage you are feeling, you have seen the appraisals are very good, but later on you found that the project is no more good. So, these are some of the risks in project implementation. Now, in the next session we will talk about the project scheduling, how to schedule the project. So, so far we have covered the stage 1 of the project implementation, planning aspects of the project implementation, importance of the project management, and what type of projects are there, why projects are important. So, in the next session we will talk about the scheduling of the projects. Thank you.